All right, good evening, everybody. This is our weekly Team Believe call. Tonight, I'm really excited because we're going to talk about challenge groups and the invite process, both of which are really important to our business. And, okay, sorry, I got kicked off.
That's okay.
Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm back. Anyway, so we're going to talk a little bit about challenge groups and the inviting process. I have a lot of great resources for you guys, and I posted the link that you can go to directly to download the scripts and the information that I am going to reference tonight. So hopefully that will help you guys in what you're doing. And many of you guys are doing a really, really great job right now. But one of my goals and one of my focuses is to provide the information that you need so that you can duplicate that, whether you choose to use it yourself. But so as you guys recruit new coaches, you can just turn them over to the Google Drive and say, hey, here are some examples of what we do and how we do it. Tweak it, make it your own. But this is the kind of the gist of it, so that we're not recreating the wheel, really just to help simplify the process and make people feel really, just a lot more comfortable with what they're doing, if that makes sense. So you guys will definitely want to check out the Google Drives when we wrap up tonight. But first things first, I want to do some really quick recognition and then get into our call. And tonight, I thought I would do something different. Since we're talking about challenge groups and inviting and, just sharing who we are and what we do, I wanted to highlight some coaches and some great posts that I saw on social media over the last week, and why those posts really just kind of stood out to me. And you guys do a really great job of posting. I'm super impressed with you. But I just wanted to highlight a couple of fun posts to show that we can be really effective in what we do, but in different ways. And at the end of the day, what's most important is that when you share on social media, you share about you, your family, what's important to you. You don't share about me. You wouldn't share what's important to me because you're not me, just like I wouldn't share what's important to you. So I just wanted to highlight our coaches and these great posts that we have. Michelle Madden, who's one of our brand new coaches, Jen Hinkle is her sponsor. And I love this post that she made because it just really highlights fitness, but also how being fit ties into just our mental and overall health. And it's just a really simple post, but it draws your eye in, and I really like that. And she's showcasing who she is. Amy, who is getting ready to do an Ironman, I think maybe next weekend, in 2 weekends, super soon. Just a simple picture of her running shoes and highlighting the significance of that and tying it into fitness and giving us some insight into her. These posts don't have to be fancy. You don't have to use all the bells and whistles when it comes to creating cool pictures. Just a simple picture, and honestly, really no caption needed on that because it just really draws you in. Judy Miller, who is in between programs right now and just really trying to spread her wings. I love this post that she tied into yoga, bike intervals, yoga plus coffee. Just very simple, but very cool. And it really speaks to who she is and her personality. And so when I see this post, I feel like I'm seeing her. And I think that that's really important with what we do. Maria does an amazing job. You do. I shouldn't say you're here on the call. So Maria, you do a really great job of posting your videos. And I can't stress enough how important it is to really post videos, do live streaming, things like that, just to give people different insight into who you are and to attract a different audience. And I love that you continue to share these over and over. And then you went a step further and asked your audience to engage with you. What kind of workout did you do today? Which I think is great. And those are great questions to ask people. Even if they don't answer, what you're showing is that you care and you want to hear from them. It's not just about you, which is really important. And there's your picture again. This is just an incredible picture of Michelle from doing her T25 workout. And it's just a great visual, and it draws you in, and it shows you that she is being proof of the product. She's doing her workouts, and she's sharing what that workout is. And she's not selling it. She's just being really honest about it. And then,
oh my God, that's an amazing picture.
I know.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then Amy, she just shared this today, summarized and wrapped up Country Heat, and shared with the audience, her results. But what I really love about this post is how she tied it into personal development. So not only is she showing that she can start a Beachbody program from start to finish, she also showcased how important as a coach doing a program from start to finish is, but also personal development, and sharing that she did the slight edge. So this is kind of a double whammy post, and really, I think, shares a lot of insight into what we do as a coach. And I think that, I know for me, that's one of my goals as I go to post, is really showcasing, not only that I'm, doing my best to live a healthy and fit life, but also give some insight into what I do as a coach without specifically telling people, whether it's, with what I make or what I earn, I can purchase this. I'm growing myself. These are the books that I'm reading. This is what my team is doing, and things like that. Just continually adding that in. Because at the end of the day, that's how we grow our business, is by sharing this awesome opportunity and expanding it with our audience, our friends, our family. So I just really wanted to celebrate this tonight. That was the recognition piece that I wanted to share with you. So great job, ladies. Keep doing what you're doing, and you are definitely, right on track. Let's go ahead and go into the topic of our call tonight, so that we're not on the phone all evening. I want to be respectful of your time. But we are going to be talking about the invite process and challenge groups, which are, very much, it's one of the vital behaviors, but it's also kind of key to our business, because if we don't invite people to join us, then we don't have a business at the end of the day. And I think, I don't know how it is for you guys, but I know for me personally, the invite process, even 2 years later, is still scary, and I still get a little nervous and overwhelmed and kind of fumble. So that's normal. And there are lots of things that we can do to push through that and be brave and be effective. And one of the things that I encourage you guys to hold close to you, for those of you who've already completed a Beachbody program or in the process of, carry how you feel and carry that success forward. And you've had amazing results, and it's changed your life. So why wouldn't you share that with somebody else? I mean, it's like finding the perfect pair of jeans and not sharing it with all your girlfriends, or the perfect pair of boots. I mean, this program has changed your life. So it's really in your hands to pay that forward. So use that mindset when you're out there talking to people. And it's not about selling a program or hitting, Success Club or a financial goal. While those are all really, really important, what matters is that you listen to these individuals and you find the best fit for them, and you help them achieve their goals. That is our job. That's why we're here. That's why we coach. And that's what we have to think about as we're going forward. And when you think about it that way, I think it really helps. I know for me personally, the invite process, it takes a lot of the pressure off, because I don't want to come across as salesy. I don't want to come across as pushy or selfish. And when you put the other person's needs forward, you will always be successful. Even if they aren't ready now, and if they say no to you, you still have their best interest at heart, and they will feel that. So when they are ready, and they will be at some point, you're ready to help them, and they feel comfortable and confident working with you, because they know that at the end of the day, you're not out for yourself, you're out for them. So if that makes any sense as you're kind of going through thinking about that. One of the things that I think has been the most helpful for me, I'm just going to start off with this, is personal development. And that's another of the vital behaviors. we encourage you guys to do personal development. We'll talk more about that on another call. But there are 3 resources that have been really helpful for me, specifically with the inviting process. And I will post these after the call. But there are 3 books that have been very helpful. And the first one is Go for No, which is by Richard Fenton and Andrea Waltz. You can get it on Audible. You can read it however you choose to do it. Failing Forward by John Maxwell is another great book. And then Go Pro by Eric Warr. So if you're looking to expand your library, I highly recommend those 3 books. If you haven't read them or listened to them, they're great, and plan on listening to them over and over again. The more you work on yourself and your confidence, the more successful you're going to be at helping people. Because you have to, at the end of the day, get over yourself and whatever hangups you have and whatever nerves you have and insecurities, so that you can do what it is that you're called to do, which is to help people. Okay? Let's talk about the resources that are out there for you guys with the challenge groups, and you'll find these on the Google Drive. And if you've gone through the 7-day quick start and the Coach Basics training, these have been introduced to you already. And you may think that they're obsolete or, no longer effective. But you guys, I continue to go back to these resources, and I've been a coach for 2 years, okay? They're perfect and they're simple, and that's the key. Keep it simple. Overcoming Objectives, which is a great resource. Again, that's going to be in our Google Drive. You can click on it because people are going to come back at you. Shakeology is too expensive, or I don't have time, or, I have an injury, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. And this document is really great at walking you through how to handle those objections and move past them, recognize them, but move past them. Another great one is the invitation guide. And you guys, I still use this. It walks you through step by step how to have an intro conversation. And I'm going to pull up a document that I've tweaked that goes along with that here shortly. But that's a really good basic document for you guys to utilize. And I'm not kidding you, I pop that sucker up on my screen, and when I'm talking to people, I use that as my guide because I am really great at throwing up way too much information, and it freaks people out and it freaks me out, and it's never good. So this is just a great simple way to walk through step by step how to create that relationship and find out what it is that those individuals want and need, okay? It's not our job to present every Beachbody program. People don't want to hear that. But what they want to hear, based on what they say, is how you can help them. And it's our job to ask enough questions to find out what they need. And if you don't ask enough questions, and if you, after the first conversation, just assume, well, we're just going to throw the 21-day fix at them. Here's 4 paragraphs about the program. What do you think? More than likely, they're going to be overwhelmed and say, well, I'll have to think about that, or I'm maybe not sure. The goal is to have multiple conversations back and forth with those individuals, okay? And that was something that I made the mistake of in the very beginning. I just assumed that after like 2 conversations back and forth, they would be on board. And it's not, because our business is a relationship business. It's a people business. It's not a Shakeology Beachbody program business, okay? And that's hard also to get your head wrapped around, but that's what you have to think of when we're doing this. People don't buy programs. People buy you, okay? They come to you because they trust, know, and like you, and they want to work with you. So it's important for you to listen twice as hard as you speak and find out what they need. And one of the things when we're talking with people is somebody might come to you, they see a post about a challenge group, and they're like, hey, I'm ready to go all in. Maria, I saw you do that Country Heat program. That looks awesome. I'm ready to sign up. I want Country Heat and I want Shakeology. And Maria's like, sweet, here's the link, sign up. Okay, and you know what? I want to do the same thing too. But what you guys need to do, and what I really encourage you to do, is take a step back and really find out why they want to do that program. Because I will tell you in the end, that speaks volumes, because what you're saying to them, whether they realize it or not, is that you care about who they are and you want to make sure that whatever it is you work with them on is the right fit. Okay? Here's another great example. Somebody might want to do Insanity. They want to sign up, but they're short on time. They're not really able to jump. And so they might say to you, hey, sign me up for Insanity. And you're like, oh, okay, great, I'll do that. But you didn't dig deep enough to find out that they have 4 kids at home and they really only have 25 minutes a day to work out, and they're nursing a knee injury. So if you give them Insanity, you're in a sense setting them up to fail. But if you had taken a little bit of extra time and taken a step back and asked some key questions, like, why do you want to do Insanity? What are your goals? What are your biggest challenges right now? What injuries do you have? You might find out that that is not the best program for them and that this would be a better program. So those are just some key tips when you're talking to people. One of the things, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and share really quick. Maybe. Here it is. Okay. So I'm putting up on the screen, and this document will be available in the Google Drives for you guys to use as a resource when it comes to going through the invitation process. And that's really what I want to focus on, because we could talk about how to do challenge group posts and all that kind of stuff, but I really just want to dive into this right now. One of the things that we have to really suck it up and realize, and I always like to say to myself, okay, Leigh, you have to put on your big girl panties and be an adult here, is to go in with confidence, okay? Go in assuming that they are ready to sign up, but not be cocky, if that makes sense. But just, move yourself forward and feel good about what you're doing, because if you feel confident and you share that, then they will feel confident and want to believe that they can do this and really help them, give them that extra nudge. Our goal, and I love this analogy, is participants are like onions. You've got to peel the layers back and really find out why they want to work with you and why they want to get in shape, okay? The more we know about them, the more that we can help them, the more effective we can be, the more they will want to work with you, okay? And this is going to take time. As I mentioned, you're going to have to ask multiple questions, and it's going to be a back and forth conversation. And you need to be prepared for that, which is why I say time and time again, you've got to work this business every day, because you'll start conversations today that may not come to fruition for a month. Somebody might want to work with you this weekend, or it could take 3 months. Or you could be like me, and I started a conversation, almost 3 years ago in January, saying that I wanted to do a program in Shakeology. And y'all, I didn't say yes for 6 months. I was that participant, okay? And look at what I'm doing now. So, and some of you may have similar stories. So you need to remember that as you're reaching out to people, and not expect somebody, which, of course we would love for them to say yes right away. Don't expect them to say yes overnight. Plan and prepare for this to take time, because it's people and relationships. And our goal is to help them, and not just sell a product, but help them create and live their best life. Okay? The whole thing too is the more time you spend building this relationship, if they say no now, because you spent that time, when they're ready and you go back and follow up with them, they're going to think of you and they're going to want to work with you. And I can't tell you how many times just listening to people and caring and genuinely wanting to help them, when I come back a couple months later, they were like, no, absolutely not. I don't want to do it. I'm like, okay, no big deal. I'm here when you're ready. They'll come back and say, hey, you know what? I'm ready to do a full challenge pack. I want to go all in. And some of them are my coaches now. So, you have to think about that as you're going through the process. What I wanted to give you guys examples of is, different scenarios that might pop up. So let's say you do a challenge pack post, or you do a challenge group post, and they come to you and they're like, oh, I totally want to do 21-day fix. How much? Or you reach out to them and they're like, how much? A lot of times you'll get the income question first. And here's a great response that you can make, because we don't want to lead with the cost. Because, how do you guys feel if you ask somebody, oh, hey, I like that new skincare, but I hear that it's $300. Okay, well, that's it. I'm done. Checked out. Okay. So the goal is, and the point is to find out what they want, because who knows what program they're going to do. We honestly can't tell them how much it's going to be, because we're not sure what's going to be the best fit for them. So make sure you really dig deep and find out, and I've got a series of questions here we're going to touch on, but you need to find out more about them. And here are some examples of the things that you can do. If you go out and reach out to them and they're like, hey, I definitely want to do a challenge group. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about it? Here are some great questions that you can lead in with them. And that was one of the things that I struggled with when I first started was, okay, I'm so excited. I'm ready to invite people to my challenge group. Oh my gosh, though, what questions do I even ask to find out what they need? I don't even know. I just shut down. So I put together just a list of different questions based on your personality. Okay, you guys? So don't ask questions that aren't relevant to you and the people that you're working with. A lot of the people that I work with are moms with little kids. So the questions that I ask are probably not going to be the same as the questions that Maria may ask, depending on who she's working with. Mm-hmm. So that's something you really need to think about is don't just copy and paste. You can, but tweak it based on who you're working with, because that would be so weird for me to ask maybe some of the questions that Maria's asking and vice versa. You really want your potential challengers to know that you're looking out for them, because people can sense and tell a canned response. Okay. You guys know it when you get spammed by, your friends who are doing something. So don't do that. Please don't do that. Take these suggestions and make them your own. Okay. So I'll just let you guys kind of look over. Some of my favorite questions to ask are, what are you currently doing for fitness and nutrition? What are your biggest challenges with reaching your goals? Do you have any injuries? And, if you could pick one area to work on, what would it be? And, I would definitely encourage you guys, when you're asking these questions, don't ask 100 questions, okay? Pick a couple and ask them. And then when they respond, pick a couple more. And just continue to dig deep, because the more that you do that, the more effective you're going to be. And you'll really be able to figure out how you can best help them. And here are just some more, is nutrition a strength or weakness? I have found with a lot of my customers, they can exercise like no other, but their nutrition stinks. And we all know that 80% of weight loss is your nutrition. So if you can't get your nutrition in check, then your challengers are not going to have the results that they want, and they're not going to be happy about it. So that helps us as coaches best help them, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then, here's just some more great questions. Again, this is going to be posted. You guys don't have to take notes on it, but I just want you to see what's out there and available. And then closing. I think sometimes that's the hardest part. After you have a relationship with somebody, you've gone back and forth and you're like, okay, I've asked all these questions, but I don't want to be like a hard salesman. I don't want to, stick it to them, because that's not who we are, what we're about. But you do need to wrap up that conversation. And, if they say yes, you can say, oh, well, let me give you details on our upcoming challenge and how it works. For example, you don't want to go in and talk about what a challenge group is if they haven't decided to do a program, if that makes sense, okay? And I always lead with the program, and unless they specifically ask me about Shakeology, I don't talk about it yet. So I'll talk program once we've kind of figured that out, and then I'll mention, hey, I want to let you know about Shakeology. Have you ever heard of it? And then we'll go into that conversation. and I'll explain a little bit more about how you can incorporate Shakeology into it. And then also too, I highly encourage you guys, once you determine a program or two that you think would work well for them, go into YouTube, copy the program, like the Country Heat promo video, and paste it in. Don't explain to them what the program is. Don't explain to them what 21 Day Fix is. Copy, paste it in. Because third-party validation is huge in what we do. You can go through and tell them all about it, but then that's just more words. And I say that I'm super guilty of this, you guys. I've just started to be really good about just doing the video because they can see it, hear it, and then decide for themselves. So I really encourage you to go in and, show those videos of the programs once you've narrowed it down. Now, don't send them like 20 videos. Please don't do that. But pick a couple of programs or one and just say, hey, this is the program that I'm thinking of. When you have a minute, check it out and let me know what you think. Simple as that. And that could even just be one simple conversation that you have with them. Short, sweet, to the point. And then from there, that will help you determine where to go with all of this. And then this is just some examples of how you could talk about the different challenge groups, why they're so important, why we choose to run them. And I really do love this kind of closing because people come to us because they want us to help them. But at the end of the day, we all want accountability, right? I mean, I know for me, even at this point in my health and wellness journey, if I didn't have challenge group participants to answer to, I guarantee you there are days that I would have skipped my workout because there are days that I am just not enough. I'm sorry, I'm not. Like, that's the honest truth. So that is something that we as coaches can offer that's really unique, and that's what makes what we're doing awesome. In a word. I mean, I use that word all the time, but that's truly the gift that we have, is that we hold these people accountable. And that's what they need and want. They want to be inspired. They want to be held accountable, and they want somebody to believe in them that they can get the job done. Okay? And that's our job. And we believe in them until they can believe in themselves, which is always the best part of our job when that happens. Okay? And then this just talks a little bit more about, what you can share at the end. When they say yes. Okay? And then this talks a little bit about Shakeology. And I really do believe strongly that when we talk about Shakeology, and I posted, when you guys have a chance, Melanie Mitchell does a really, really good, her video is really good.
I saw it today. It was really good.
Yeah, like she doesn't mince words, which is why I really enjoy following her. She just gets right down to it. But your testimony is what matters. So pick 3 things about Shakeology that has impacted you in a positive way, and that's what you share. Okay? Really, really simple.
I did that. I did that this afternoon.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I wrote 3 things down, and I took her beginning sentence because I thought that was really good. How she said, "I don't know about other shakes, but I do know about Shakeology." And then I put my spin on it afterwards, and I thought, "Wow, that was really good."
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly. I mean, that's what we do. And when you look at workout programs and things like that, you guys don't have to be experts. None of our coaches are experts on the programs. That's why we have trainers. That's why we have nutritionists. That's their job. They put it together, and then we, pair people up with that. So, I mean, that's a great point, Maria, is you never need to speak about another product because that doesn't matter. All you know is what's here. And it's a great, great video. So I definitely encourage you guys, if you haven't, I mean, that's a great plan, Maria, is go back and think about, why you choose to do this, because you're making a huge investment. I mean, Shakeology is not cheap. So why are you choosing to make that investment in your health? That's what people want to know. Like, why are we spending this kind of money for a shake? Like, is it really going to make that big of a difference? I mean,
and I had my customer that had it now. She was the one who bought my first challenge pack, and she wasn't thrilled about buying it, but she wanted to buy it. Like she liked what I had said about the energy and the hunger cravings, and then I got a note, I saw her at the wedding, and she's like, everything you said is right. She says, I have more energy drinking my Shakeology than I do a cup of coffee. I'm even missing a cup of coffee during the day, and I don't even know where it's coming from, but she was like, it was just amazing. She just said, everything I said was about her hunger cravings and her sugar cravings, and she said it's great. So I was really happy for her.
That's awesome. I mean, that's a huge win. I mean, we believe in it. And I'll be honest, I know how great it is, but I pray and hope that people see the value in it that I see in it. So I'm always like, yay, yay. I mean, it never gets old. Like, I mean, that's how much I believe in it. So, and hold on to those testimonials. You can use those to share with people. I think that that's super important too.
Right.
So yeah, this is just, you'll find this, but this just talks a little bit about how you can really dive into the process. And again, when you guys are inviting people, I really encourage you to keep it to just a few sentences back and forth. One of the things that I encourage everybody to do is part of the inviting process is connecting with people. Okay. Like that is, I consider inviting, because it would be don't you guys think it would be super weird if somebody from high school reached out and said, hey, how are you doing? I'm having a challenge group. Would you like to join me? I'm a Beachbody coach. Like that would never work. So it's important that part of you growing and expanding your business and trying to help as many people as possible is doing those basic connections. We call them reach outs. Like, hey, how are you? I love being able to follow your family on Facebook. What have you been up to? You guys, I count that as part of the new reach outs, because you're reaching out and connecting to somebody. And when you do that, they may be following you on Facebook, and they may respond back and say, oh my gosh, Maria, I've been watching your Country Heat videos. Tell me a little bit more about that. So, it's important that you continue to reach out to people and truly be interested in them. Like find people that you are ready to connect with again and ask them how they're doing. Another way that I reach out to new people is when I make my posts that are related to health and fitness or, what we do, I go through and see who liked it or who commented. And if, there's somebody on there who liked it, who isn't a current customer of mine or somebody who I've already reached out to, I add them to my new prospect list. I'm like, hey, I really appreciate your support of my transformation story. I was really nervous to put it out there. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm a health and wellness coach. This is what I do. I don't know if this is anything, that you might be interested in, but I would love to tell you a little bit more about what I do. Let me know if you'd like to have some more information on being a part of one of my upcoming groups. And I think one of the things that I've learned when I do talk to people in the inviting process is I say, at some point, hey, this may or may not be for you, but I wanted to let you know about what I have coming up. And you may actually have a friend who might be interested in it. So you're giving them an option out so that they don't feel, kind of like you're pushing on them. And even after, I have a conversation back and forth with somebody about the programs that we're doing and how I can help them, and I can feel that they're probably going to say yes, I will still at the end say, hey, I want to let you know my group is starting next week. I really want you to be a part of it, and it sounds like the 21-Day Fix is going to be a great program for you. I also understand, too, that, now may not be a good time. And I get that. So, just to let you know, I do a group every month. So when you're ready, let me know. So I give them a couple of options. And, people in sales would probably poo-poo that because you're like, oh my gosh, you're talking negative. You're like giving them an out. But I believe in my heart of hearts that the people that I am meant to work with, I will work with when they are ready and when I'm ready to work with them. So that's how I choose to lead my business. Just some tips for me, but you guys can lead it however you would like to. So those are just, some additional ideas for you guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and just wrap up from here what we talked about tonight, because the call is already running past a half an hour, and I want you guys to be able to finish up your evening. And I will talk about specifically challenge groups next week, the kinds that we can have, why we should be doing them. And I may even post a video later this week about it so that you guys can watch on your own. But I just wanted to open it up for questions that you might have, any challenges that you're facing before we sign off tonight.
I think the hardest thing for me is wording, like you said. I've learned through you that making it short is better. And I think making sure, or I could be just overthinking because I have a value, make sure it has value to what you're putting on. So it's just doing it more and more and more, and it'll come easier. But that's where I have trouble with, I think.
Yeah, I think for all of us that's a challenge. And the more that you do it, the more comfortable you'll be.
Right.
And we fail forward. So, you'll when I first started, I sent books of information to people, and it's a wonder that they still talk to me. But I've used the 2 years to try to tweak it. And I'm still learning. I still make mistakes all the time. But yeah, I think, that's a great point, Maria, is that you learn and you hone your craft of helping people, and you learn the people that you're working with and what works and what doesn't. Mm-hmm. And I would encourage you guys, if you do a lot of business from your phone, for example, I do a lot of stuff from my phone because I'm always running around. If you have an iPhone or Android, I'm sure has this too. If there's a notes section and you find an invite script that just is awesome, copy paste it there. So that way when you're out, you can just copy and paste it and then tweak it for whomever it is that you're talking to. So you're not having to peg and tap and, be inefficient, basically. We have limited time. We need to be efficient, and our goal is to help as many people as possible. So when you find what works for you, put it someplace that you can access it, so that when you have those conversations, it can be right there. Just your workout program DVDs on YouTube, I have them bookmarked. So I can just pop on, copy, paste. I'm check this video out. Let me know what you think. And then also as you're recruiting coaches, talking about the coaching opportunity, things like that. So find a place that you go to on a regular basis and you put all that information, so you can just copy and paste it and be on your way. So.
Perfect. Thanks.
Great. Anyone else have any more questions?
I think I'm good.
Awesome. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Sorry, it went a little bit longer, but hopefully you guys got a lot of great information or some information, and you'll be able to use it in your business and building your business. My whole goal with these calls every Tuesday night is that you learn something new and it was worth your time. So if it's not, I need to know, because I don't like to do things if people aren't going to benefit from them, because all of our time is way too precious. So anything,
I found it informative, so.
Well, thank you. Any feedback that you have, good, bad, ugly, I happily accept it. But you guys are doing great. Have a great rest of the week. We'll definitely, be connecting, and I'll get this recording up so you guys can watch it back. All right.
All right, Leah. See you later. Bye, Michelle.
Bye. Keep being awesome.
I'll try.
All right, let's see.